What are the checklists followed to look for investment properties?
Okay, a lot of things I check. Let me just go through in general and then maybe come to a checklist part. But I look at a lot of different things. First thing is I do a lot of research on the suburbs, and I do attend presentations from the developers, but I don't take everything what they say as accurate, because a lot of times they might exaggerate or they might even give some false information. But when I do get the information, I cross-check with preferably council websites or any other source. And also there are many people, demographers, who are pretty good in predicting what's coming in a location. Like for example, it could be Michael Matusik, it could be Terry Ryder from Hotspotting, or Bernard Salt from KPMG. So there are a lot of demographers who are very well known. So usually I listen to them, I read the reports from them. I also read the reports from Bureau of Statistics as to what's happening in a suburb or in a location. And I also go by what's happening at a government level and also at a council level. So these things give me a better idea as to what's happening in the future. Some people purely look at the past performance based on some realestate.com or some other report. Nothing wrong with it, but I personally don't agree, because all these realestate.com or other reports, they base their report mainly on the past performance. So past performance is based on XYZ factor, but it does not mean that the future will have those same factors for it to grow in the same way. So what I am interested is, I do look at those reports as well, which will give some information, but I also look at these other reports which are going to say what's coming in future in those locations. Is a hospital coming? Is an airport coming? Is a lot of money spent on some major projects? Is a mining company coming? Is a train station coming? So these things are, to me, better indicators of like a suburb or a location might grow better than the normal ones. But having said that, there could be some instances where things may not go as per your research. For example, macroeconomics. There could be some differences at a government level between countries. They could say, this country cannot invest much in these areas or in any area, or they cannot do this project, and that can bring down a lot of projects, and it may not work as you thought it will work. But in general, very rarely those things can happen. But in general, the more research you can do, it's better. You can talk to people. Again, when somebody says like XYZ factor, don't just blindly believe it. So you can do your own research. There are many nowadays. There's so much of information available. So if you spend some time, in fact, I would even recommend visiting that place. If somebody says a particular location is fantastic, when you're spending $400, $500, $600,000, I might spend at least $300 to go visit one day, hire a car, visit the place, and come back. So that way, at least you're confident what you're saying is like all true to what they're telling. So my recommendation is to go through those things. Main thing is also do like a search when you're buying a property. Like for example, is it affected by flood? Is it affected by some other like airport noise or anything like that? So the checklist, when I say, you go through all those details. There's not one or two, there are many. The more research you can do on these locations, the better. Again, talk to experts, there's a lot of people who are pretty good at these things. Also, you can use buyer's agents. I've seen some buyer's agents who haven't done the great job, but there are some who have done pretty good job. So you could use buyer's agent who act on your behalf and do a lot of search on your behalf. They charge some nominal fee. It could be anywhere between $1,500 to some $5,000-$6,000 or maybe more. But when you're spending a huge amount of money, it may be worth considering that as well. So yeah, look at all these different things, and probably chances are you'll have like multiple shortlisted locations. So once you have like research done on multiple locations, then you can shortlist and say, out of these 7, these are the 2 I like, or 1 or 2, and then depending on what options are available, what bargains are available, you could pick up one in those 2 locations.